On September 29th, the United States voted against a United States Human Rights Council resolution that condemns the death penalty for same-sex marriage. So let me say that again. They had a UN resolution. There's countries out there, Saudi Arabia being one of them, where if you have consensual same-sex, you can be murdered. It's punishable by death. And weird that Saudi is against that. And then the U.S., the United States, supposed to be the big human rights champions. We have gay marriage here finally. We voted against it. The margin passed by a 27-13. This country really, let me read what the resolution is, what our country did not support. The resolution specifically condemns the imposition of a death penalty as a sanction for specific forms of conduct such as apostasy, blasphemy, adultery, and consensual same-sex relations, and expresses serious concern that the application of the death penalty for adultery is disproportionately imposed on women. It also notes poor and economically vulnerable persons and foreign nationals are disproportionately subject to the death penalty, that laws carrying the death penalty are used against persons exercising their rights to freedom of expression, thought, conscience, religion, and peaceful assembly and association, that persons belonging to religious or ethnic minorities are disproportionately represented among those sentenced to the death penalty. The United States also backed a proposed amendment from Egypt that stated a moratorium on the death penalty should be a decision after domestic debate. The U.S. abstained from voting on a proposed amendment from Saudi Arabia that said countries have the right to develop their own laws and penalties in accordance with international law. Iran, Saudi Arabia, Mauritania, and Sudan are among the handful of countries in which consensual same-sex sexual activity remains punishable by death. The so-called Islamic State has executed dozens of men in Iraq, Syria, and Libya who are accused of committing sodomy. So that's who we're lining up with. Gee, I wonder if this has anything to do with the oil we get from Saudi Arabia. And we, sell them weapons and all that other stuff. I wonder if that has anything to do with this. Couldn't be at all. It's another way that the United States has no moral high ground for anything. For anything. I don't know where America gets off. There's countries where a gay couple can be sentenced to death. It's unreal. I'll read you a quote. It is unconscionable to think that there are hundreds of millions of people living in states where somebody may be executed simply because of whom they love, said ILGA Executive Director Renatal Sabadan in a press release referring to the resolution. This is a monumental moment where the international community has publicly highlighted that these horrific laws simply must end, except for the United States and a bunch of other. Kelly Kerr, the U.S. representative of the UN Economic and Social Council, attended the event but did not speak. Biden spoke last year. UN Ambassador to UN Nikki Haley in April said the U.S. remains disturbed by the ongoing crackdown against gay men and lesbians in Chechnya, but has done nothing. When Trump went to Saudi Arabia in April, he made no mention that consensual same-sex relations remain punishable by death in the kingdom in a speech he gave in the Saudi capital. Trump has not publicly commented on the ongoing crackdown against LGBT Chechens. The U.S. and 24 countries in 2014 voted for a resolution against violence and discrimination based on sexual orientation and gender the UN Human Rights Council adopted. Yeah, boy, some more Trump awfulness. So that's America, you guys. It's, again, broken record here, but we got to get real progressives in here. Get behind our revolution. I did a video. They're getting populist progressive politicians on the small level. We need We need them in the big level. We need them in the Senate. We need them in Congress. We really need this to happen because we need someone to end our wars and get gun control and get universal health care for everybody and free college tuition because this country has the money, and respect everybody's rights, especially those that are like in countries where you can be murdered. You think there's homophobia in America? Imagine if you were murdered by the state. The government could sentence you to death because you were in a loving gay marriage or just had consensual gay sex. You could be killed. And America's okay with that because we need this petrodollar. It all comes down to that. Follow the money. That's where all these awful laws are passed and why and who motivates them.